morning, history nerds who also like true crime. And welcome to Nerder with me, Leslie. Tonight, we travel back to the 1800s, starting in Norway, as a young Norwegian woman boards a ship to America. She is leaving behind poverty. Dreams of opportunity shine in her eyes. By the time she steps foot onto land in Chicago, Brynhild has changed her name to Belle Gunness. Tonight we start a new series called Psycho Saturday. I literally did a Google search, psychopaths in history. And Miss Gunness, I really wanted her name to be Guinness, but it wasn't so, it's Gunness. Anyway, she popped up almost immediately. She was one of the first female serial killers. She was strong, broad-shouldered, and nearly 6 feet tall. Not the kind of woman you overlook. She also got a job apprenticing in a butcher shop, a skill she would put to great use later. Belle married a fellow Norwegian immigrant named Mads Sorensen. Together they opened a candy store, which tragically burned down to the ground. And sadly, not soon after, Mads met his demise. The cause? Heart failure, officially. But isn't it interesting that he happened to die on the one day that both of his life insurance policies overlapped? This payout gave her a small fortune, and she moved to LaPorte, Indiana, where people saw her on her farm, raising her foster children on her own and taking care of the cattle. Just a hard-working, widowed mother. She quickly remarried to Peter Gunness. Sadly, within a year, tragedy struck again. Peter's skull was crushed. Belle said it was from a meat grinder that had accidentally fallen off a shelf. That sounds like some weird cartoon. Anyway, meat grinder fell off a shelf. The neighbors whispered, but the police let it go. Just another accident. So Belle would start the next chapter of her life, a chapter written in ink and blood, placing ads in Norwegian language papers. Personal. Comely widow who owns a large farm in one of the finest districts of LaPorte County desires to make the acquaintance of a gentleman equally well provided with a view to joining fortunes. I'm pretty sure what she meant was with a view to you dying and me getting your fortunes. And from across the Midwest wrote back, they would head out carrying suitcases of cash and gifts. They would tell their friends, I'm off to LaPorte to marry a wealthy widow, or something like that. And each time, they were never heard from again. There was John Moe, Olaf Lindblom, Andrew Helgelien, to name a few. There were letters of heartbreak that would be found. Belle would lure them in with promises of love and wealth, only to poison, bludgeon, or butcher them. Their remains were fed to her hogs or buried under layers of dirt and lime. Her farm became known as Murder Farm. Doesn't that sound like a place you'd stay away from? I mean, if people knew it, like it was known as Murder Farm, wouldn't you not go there? Then came April 28th, 1908. A fire broke out at the Gunness farm. When they put the fire out, they found the bodies of 3 young children, Belle's children, and the torso, a headless torso, of a woman. That's not suspicious. The newspapers mourned the widow farmer, but then investigators started digging. Literally. In the pig pen, there were bone fragments, torsos, arms, legs, 30 plus bodies in total. And among them, the fiance of one of Belle's would-be victims, Andrew Helgeline, whose brother had demanded an investigation. One of her farmhands, Ray Lamphere, was arrested, and he admitted to Belle telling him of how she killed her husband by poisoning them, bludgeoning them, butchering them, and feeding them to the pigs. Now, Lamphere swore that Belle was still alive and had planted the body of another woman so that she could make her escape. Lamphere died in prison, swearing to his final day that Belle Gunness was alive and living far away somewhere, laughing and rich. There have been reported sightings of her, or there were reported sightings of her in the decades to come. Let's see, Chicago, Los Angeles, and even Mississippi. But she was never found. So what became of Belle Gunness? No one really knows. Did she die in that fire, or did she escape into the smoke? What we do know is in LaPorte, the dirt still whispers her name, the mistress of Murder Farm. That was Psychopath Saturday. And if you like history and you like true crime, go ahead and stab that like button and subscribe. Until then, my friends, stay nerdy, stay safe.